time to have ourselves a little fun, okay? How do you like a little preseason Thunderdome? That's right. The last time we can use this preseason title, we all know about the Thunderdome, right? 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. Okay, and so we've paired up some coaches with some questions, and we're going to tell you the answers that you're looking for.
Hey, T-Bob, what are you
First off,
drinking, by the way? What are we
I got a
drinking
little.
over there?
You know what I actually have in here? Do you
You're
ever
just like
have
waving it around. I was like, what are we drinking? What are we sipping
Well, now
on?
I'm kind of using it like a prop, right? I'm kind of using like
Okay,
like a
that's what I was
chill
wondering.
prop. But no, it's a little hint. You know, hint water. It's got like this little hint of flavor in it, just a tiny little baby bit.
Oh, like a
I
like a
think it's actually
Mio,
very
like a
tasty.
Mio in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it's the same concept. Anything that's
Yeah.
like watered down, like like low sugar, et cetera, et cetera. But it's quite good. Watermelon. Aaron, do you put salt on your watermelon?
Just my margaritas, not the watermelon.
Really?
But
Okay.
no, I've never heard of that before. Try to keep
Okay.
down the
Well,
sodium. Like going to be on TV. You got to
oh
make sure
my
the cheeks are
God.
a little bit
Here we go.
not
Here
puffy.
we go.
Tricks of the trade, man.
Cla-
Cut down the salt.
some classic quarterback bullshit. It's not scotch. That'll be for Saturday's show, okay? Not today. Today we are sober and clear-minded and ready to roll as we enter the Thunderdome. Aaron Murray, who wins the next national title out of Nick Saban and Kirby Smart?
Oh, it's gonna be Nick, and now I'm like 0 for 2 today with Georgia questions. So you're just gonna just bombard me with this going forward. Right now, and I don't see. I agree with Nick. Last year was a rebuilding year. I agree, but I just don't like the fact that he said it. Like, you don't have to say that. Let us say that. Like, you just go out there and coach, and don't make excuses. Let us make the excuses for you. But it was a year for them. A lot of youth. They got 2 of the best players in the country. They got a boatload of talent on defense. You will see what the receivers look like. I think they got some really good running backs, a great transfer from Georgia Tech. They're loaded. They are absolutely loaded. There is no reason why they should not be in the playoffs. There's no reason why they should not be contending for a national championship. So little bit in favor of the Crimson Tide because of the fact that they can win and most likely will win this season.
Yeah, check this out. How about this? If you are asked any college football question, just answer Nick Saban, and you will be right the vast majority of the time. So, yes, Nick Saban emerges from the Thunderdome clutching the bloody head of Kirby Smart. Glad you said it, Aaron. I didn't want to have to say it, Who gets to the playoffs first? Lincoln Riley, Brian Kelly. And, Aaron, I'll take this opportunity to betray my own fan base because while I love the long-term potential of Brian Kelly at LSU, I really think it's going to be a resounding success. Last 3 coaches have all won national championships here at LSU. However, the road to the playoff for USC versus the road to the playoff for LSU is not even close, especially because at USC he'll probably have a couple years in the Pac-12 to try to get to the playoffs. So no, Brian Kelly having to work through Kirby Smart and Nick Saban is going to be vastly tougher than Lincoln Riley having to work through Dan Lanning and Kyle Whittingham, which is respectful, but the Dan Lanning was meant with inherent disrespect. So I hate it, but I'm going Lincoln Riley.
So I'm going to go with Kelly because of the fact that USC has to do it in the next 2 years before they jump over into the Big Ten. And obviously things get a little bit trickier for them to do it. I look at LSU. I look at the talent that we know that's on that roster. 10 guys drafted last year on a 500 team. That's how much good was there. And I do think right now, Coach Kelly is a top 5 coach in America. I've said it for a couple of years now. He is one of the best coaches in America. You pair great coaching with incredible talent. What does that give you? I don't know, championships. So I think to me, he has an opportunity to turn this program around, not next year, not the year after. I think they're a winning football team this year, kind of my dark horse in the SEC. And I think they get the ship going in the right direction starting next year. And I would say year 3 are very competitive with getting to Atlanta in order to get to the SEC. And as we know, if you can win in Atlanta, you're going to be in the playoffs at the end of the day. So I just don't like if the Pac-12 and USC, if they weren't moving, then I would say them, but I just don't see them making it in the next 2 years.
Okay. They're making the LSU. Look at this, a little Freaky Friday role reversal on a Wednesday. Next up in the Thunderdome, as the bloody corpses of Kelly and Kirby are dragged out, who will own the state of Texas? Steve Sarkisian or Jimbo Fisher? Aaron, I'll let you start this one.
I'm going to go with Jimbo. I think Texas A&M is, a lot of people are feeling them this year. I'm not yet, and you know my feelings about Haynes King. Just until I see it, I still think that's a negative for the team. To me, it's once again the fact that they're lacking depth and experience at the receiving position is why you're going with more of a running quarterback. But they've recruited extremely well. This class this past year was incredible. They're going to have some value this year, but I see that class and the past couple of classes really starting to emerge in 2024 or 2023, excuse me, and in 2024. I think you see A&M get to being a little bit and a lot more consistent and starting to flirt with more 10-win seasons and obviously opportunities to get into the playoffs. So I think long-term success, I'm going to go with Jimbo. And plus, he's won a championship as a head coach. He knows what it takes. There's a reason why they brought in the A&M. I think they're knocking on the door. I think they're 1 or 2 years away from being a team that is a legitimate contender in the SEC West.
It's obviously Jimbo, right? Everything's bigger in Texas. Jimbo, jumbo. Jumbo means big. Jimbo's only one letter away. Steve Sarkisian, SS. What else smart starts with S? Small, okay? They just had the #1 recruiting class of all time. It's obviously A&M. I'm not a Sark believer at all. Okay, so Sarkisian dragged out, dead. Who will own the state of Florida? Mario Cristobal or Billy Napier? Look, I like what Cristobal's doing at Miami. I like the potential there. The problem is it feels like so much of the monetary momentum that they have comes from one man in Ruiz, right? This great single donor, whereas Florida seems to have this better collective. Also, maybe I'm just being a bit Louisiana biased here, but I know how hard it is to win at UL like Billy Napier did. And I think he's going to be fantastic. And yes, I think you will see Florida finish higher on the recruiting trail than does Miami a consistent amount of time.
Well, I think you'll see Miami better records in the first year or two. I think this year I would favor Miami. Next year I'd probably favor Miami. But as Billy gets going, and we know they just built a brand new $85 million facility, Gainesville and academics, there's just a lot of positive that Florida can recruit you. Now you have a guy that's going to go out there and hustle. You alluded to the Gator Collectives doing a great job there, head up by Eddie Royas. So I think Florida's positioning itself for success in a few years. It's going to take time for them to catch up because the East obviously is a lot more competitive than what has to happen in the ACC. So give Florida 2-3 years and let's get back to this conversation. So if you're looking for an immediate who's better today, this year, next year, I'm going with Cristobal. But for the long-term success, the team that I'm thinking that could get back to a national championship sooner than the other, I put my money on Florida.
Okay, and the final SEC Thunderdome of the day, or preseason Thunderdome. Who is the big bad? And I mean the B1G, the Big Ten. Who's the baddest guy in the conference? Is it Ryan Day or is it Jim Harbaugh?
If this is a debate, we should be fired. It's Ryan Day. And there's no question about this one. I mean,
wait. So, Aaron, you're saying, hold on now. You're saying
pre comments about his quarterback or post comments about his quarterback?
No. What you're saying, though, you're saying it's not even a debate. You're saying the difference is day and night.
Was that supposed to be funny too?
Ryan Day, get it? Right, day and night. Okay, yeah. God, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him get your puns. Okay.